Welcome to We're Gonna Need Time. I am your host, Bryson66, and I am joined by Notorious Fat. Typically, we were gonna keep rolling, but we're gonna take the time to give you a little insight on what we are about here on our brand new show called We're Gonna Need Time. We thought of a clever name that had to relate to LGHL, and you know, how many times do you hear it during the season, Notorious? We're gonna need time, buddy.
Too many times. Too many.
So what we're about is we're a bit of a spin-off from Pardon the Interruption from ESPN, or those that are living in America's Hat, TSN. What's the look for, Notorious? Show is just about breaking down a couple topics. You can see to right. All the topics we're going to discuss today. There'll be a 2-minute timer for each topic. Notorious and I will go through them. That's the show, boys. We're going to get this underway. No time. Here we go. So first topic we are going to start off with is league competition. Notorious, league competition. Everyone's all about that, especially in the NHL. But the AHL, there's some questions coming around, arising for it right now, and this is coming from a staff office. Is that should the league enforce managers that aren't as talented to be able to manage in the NHL?
I think there's got to be a line, right? And I don't think we're going to have someone just walking around evaluating talent like, oh, this guy's good enough, that guy's not. But I think it's pretty obvious when you have guys that are just weaker than other guys. I probably had no business managing in season 28 with Dudley. It was a weak managing team. Like, we did not have a lot of juice, if you would. So kind of thing, you have to be a little more cautious going forward. When you see Notorious put his name up again, or Dudley, or whoever puts their name up again, maybe you got to be a little cautious, because when you see so many losing seasons, or they're known as a guy who maybe isn't as skilled, maybe they shouldn't be managing.
But think about it. Who are you? Who are the staff to determine who manages and who doesn't manage? It's not a job that everyone should be grateful for, and especially when you consider a manager. You know, I'm going to take the jabs. Buck, for example, has very poor success. Does he always feel the team? Does he give it his best? All the boxes are ticked. How can the league sit there and enforce that and give problems to people that actually give a shit about the league?
Well, I can say this much from a personal standpoint. Being on Belleville this year, we've got some weak management, and it's really affecting things. Like I'm at my wit's end. I'm ready to just throw my hand up and quit. And I'm not that guy. Like, I always see it through. I've had some terrible seasons on some terrible teams, 12 of them to be exact, and just it's tough. Like, I appreciate managers. I've done it once myself. I know it's a tough job, but if you're going to take that job on, you got to have the skills to pay the bills. Some guys don't.
At the end of the day, it's a job that not everybody wants to do, and those that do it, hey, you got to do, and that's the way it goes. So, all right. So next topic, we're moving on to the waiver wire. This kind of came from my squad in Providence, and a topic I felt needed to be discussed. A new rule that I was not made aware of. You are not allowed by rule as a manager to tell other managers that a player is inactive. I understand why the rule is in place. It's obvious. They don't want people burying good players in training camps that either A, aren't working out on their squad on a certain team, or B, they have a plenty amount of good players, and they don't want to, just give them away or trade them away. They want to put them in the TC, a valuable ECU. I understand why, but in situations where there's players that just aren't able to play, you're trying to be a nice guy. I don't know. Maybe being a nice guy isn't the place for here, but go ahead.
I agree with you to a point as well. Like, if I'm a manager, I see a guy on the waiver wire and he's got some interest in me. Maybe I've played with him in the past. I want to know why he's on the waiver wire. Like, is he just being a jerk? Is he got issues with his outside life where he doesn't have the time? Did his Xbox break? If I'm putting in some money on a guy, I want to know that he can play for me, or if I want him to play with me. So a little bit of cooperation between managers is certainly warranted here. Maybe there's a place to put a note and say, hey, this guy's got bad availability or something. I don't know if it's there or not right now. Or even just shoot that manager a message and say, hey, Bryson, what's the deal with player A? I think there needs to be some cooperation. We want the best league possible, so let's do what we can to make this the best league possible.
The problem with it is that, plain and simple, the rules say you can't You can't say it. So if I shut my mouth and wave someone and they claim it, I'm going to hurt another team. That's the problem with that rule. That's the problem. Moving on here to number 3, an issue that obviously is no laughing matter, and quite honestly, you wouldn't expect to see hit a internet hockey league, a sexual harassment case. I mean, it's real. It's actually real. It happened. We had a player on I believe it's Stockton's goalie. Correct me if I'm wrong, Notorious. Correct?
I believe you're correct. Yeah.
Okay. There were some comments said that obviously we're not the the most I don't know what word I'm trying to look for here, but just not in the best manner. Yeah, they just weren't nice. They weren't very nice. And we saw Papa Adams, San Antonio players get suspensions. One of them, I believe, was Eurohafer. Notorious.
You know what? This is a no-brainer. We talk a lot of stuff like that's terrible, but this is even worse. Like, how many females do we even have in our league? Do we really want to start sexually harassing them? Like, not even just this league, but in the streets. Like, you wouldn't do it in the street. Well, unless you're some kind of sick person. Why are you doing it here? You think you're safer because it's the internet? This is life, man. Like, you think you're protected behind a keyboard? You're not protected. People are going to come after you, and they're going to say they're going to press charges if you do these kind of things. It's just not good for anybody. It's not good for the community. It's not good for you personally, legally. Don't do it, guys. That's just stupid.
Perfect example. It's the internet. The information's out there. Everybody gets to it. Look at Gren. If anyone saw those tweets, I'm not going to say what the information was that was said on it, but Gren said some very colorful things on the website. Somebody screenshot that a long time ago. Bam. Washington Capitals were tweeting about him, and I believe they took that tweet down. Don't just go blasting things around because you think you're invisible on an online gaming website. It's not acceptable.
Best I could tell, nobody on this league is made of Teflon. That shit's going to stick. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful.
Absolutely. And you got to consider the fact, too, that we're a community. Granted, nobody's going to love each other here and so hate each other. But at the end of the day, we're a community. We should have each other's back and not go and throw that kind of shade at people, especially at that degree. It's horrible. Yeah. Moving on here to our next topic, fourth topic of discussion. It is the infamous Dink scandal. I have heard my fair share of things here. Brody, I believe, made a post about it. I'm not sure if you were able to read up on it, Notorious. I'll let you lead off things, and I'll close this one out.
Yeah, I breezed over the article. It doesn't have direct effect to me, so I didn't dive right into it. The real issue here is second tagging. Tagging to me is just it's dumb. It's really dumb, and I think I talked about it on my Week 3 Exposed show. If you're second tagging on NHL 18, come on. Like, the game itself is barely playable most nights. If you're so gung-ho to play second tag or jump on someone else's tag, that's just sad. You have to really evaluate what is going on in your life. If you want to play games, you want to sit at home and play video games all night, hey, I'm all for that. Go ahead. But find something other than NHL to play. Because it's not a great game. It's not good for many reasons, but there's lots of players in your TC. They're looking for their shot that finally have a chance to play in the NHL or go up. They're not going to get that shot because you're taking that spot away from them with your second tag. It's not right. It's just straight up cheating, and I don't like it. 2 consecutive 3-0 weeks, and I can't say I've had the desire to play the game any more than that. I do like leagues. I like being a part of this. But my God, and as far as people want to hear information on what I have to say about it, all I can say is we drafted the guy. I'm not even joking, because dinks and dunks. Quite honestly, that's it. The guy barely talked, which I guess should have raised some red flags. But if anyone's played on my team, it's get into your games. I'm not even there unless I'm playing. I was surprised to hear it, but once information was across, it all started to connect the dots and make sense. But at the end of the day, he's gone, and that's the end of Dinks. No more Dinks and Dunks love relationship. We've all had enough Dinks in our life already. Yeah. So moving on here to we're going to do a little statistics here. We're not just going to talk about debates. We're going to talk about statistics, how the league's doing, and we're going to start with the bottom teams of the 4 divisions: Lehigh Valley, Belleville,
Manitoba, Ontario. And I'll be honest, I actually had to change the list a day, like actually hours before, because it's changed a little bit on the bottom of that Manitoba division. So notorious, those 4 teams. You look at them, some are surprised, some not so much. Belleville, your Ontario, Lehigh Valley. I mean, they gave us a little bit of trouble here in Providence. Not a bad team, to be honest. Who do you see rebounding here after these slumpish first 2 weeks?
Is an answer for none of them? Is that a possibility?
Because
I really don't see it. It's I can only personally speak for Belleville being there. It's bad. It's real bad right now. You know, we got guys on suicide. It's not pretty. So I don't think Belleville has a chance to recover. I would love it. Be great. I'd like to be a part of a team that wins, but I don't think it's going to happen. You know, Buck and Dudley with Ontario, love those guys, but that's
one. You got to pick one. Who's most likely
going to possibly come out of it? If I'm going to pick one, it's going to be Manitoba, because at least now they have that cap with Dad moving up. They got that 10.5. If they can be smart with it, they might be able to do something. So that would be my pick for someone who's moving up.
It's a good pick. Honestly, Lehigh Valley in any other division, I would have picked Lehigh Valley. Not in this division, man. I think Hartford's in 5th. Like another really good team that's in the middle of the table. I don't see them climbing up. It's going to be difficult. Belleville, I'll give them the benefit of a doubt. I think Wickley Moist is playing pretty well. He's lived. So, listen, man, first 2 weeks, come on, Notorious. You got to believe in Belleville. Belleville.
I've been in this situation way too many times. I know.
Believeville. That's what we're going to call Believeville.
So, all right. So that's who we got.
I think my answer is going to be Manitoba. Major finds a couple good key players and brings that team up a little bit. Easy division, too. That helps. Easier than the others. Moving on here, so we're going to go to the top, and we've got Providence, Tucson, Rockford, and Utica. It's pretty straightforward. Tucson, that's Zaka, who ended up missing playoffs with the Goals last season, having a very good start. The Pacific, maybe not as difficult as it was before. And Rockford, that, like I said, that division's actually kind of close with Rockford and Manitoba in it. It's no one's really pulling away just yet. So again, Notorious, I'm going to ask you which team is going to drop here.
If I have to pick a team that's not going to be in first come 5 weeks from now, I'm thinking it's going to be Tucson. I don't think Tucson is going to be there just really because that division, although it's not as strong as it used to be, there's still some strength there. The teams are evenly matched, with the exception of Ontario. Sorry, guys. But the division does have some parity. So if anybody's going to fail, I feel it's going to be Tucson. I don't really have a specific reason. I'm not saying player A or player B is going to cause that to happen. I just like the division as a whole, its overall strength. I just think that Tucson's in tough.
Yeah, that's that. I'm going to say, as much as I want to say Rockford, and I'm not dissing the team at all by any means, because honestly, they're doing very well. But again, I think that division's close. That's anyone's game right now. This early 2 weeks in, I think Utica is going to run away with their division again. I don't think there's anyone nowhere near going to be able to compete with them. I think that's going to be a runaway. I love to talk my own team up, but again, Hershey is nipping our heels a little bit there. It's a very tough division as well. I'm going to have to say if there's a team that's going to drop, I'm going to go with say Tucson, maybe Rockford, but Tucson's going to be more.
Rockford would have been my second choice as well. I don't see Providence. I don't see Utica losing any speed.
Yeah, it's close. It's definitely close between those two teams. So we'll see how things move on in the next couple of weeks here. So we're going to stay with divisional talks and we're going to move on to here the divisional powerhouse. So in the past, everyone said West Pacific, toughest division. You've always had Utica win their division. You've had Manitoba normally dominating their division when it was fourth line in that organization. And then the Eastern Atlantic, it kind of, back and forth. Providence was in the Calder finals last year. I believe that division is. So, everyone could mutually agree. West Pacific, toughest division. You had the CUDA, you had Zach, who's now in first place, finished 5th place last season. Top 6 teams that all could have been in the playoffs. Those 5 and 6, and they're a playoff team. Do you feel like that division is lackluster now? Do you feel like there's a new king in town for divisional supremacy?
You know what? I'm not going to go with lackluster. I think we're a little early to go.
We lose him, Tina.
Okay, that's awkward. That is really. So I'm gonna hopefully he gets back in the typing. Okay. Oh my god. That's brutal. This is the commercial break. Let's give us two more minutes here, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck. Rolling. Yeah, we could use that. Should just had the intro on loop. Yeah. Said 2 minutes. Almost 2 minutes.
Is the audio on frickin'?
Here, go fuck yourself. Fucking Detroit. How do you not have your fucking laptop plugged in? That's what he said. It died. He's gonna get a Stern talking. So you can't play any music. Now he said fuck. It's going really well.
Fucking Nico's in the chat.
Who told him? Yeah. He said, poo poo pee pee, try your stand up routine. And I said, Lahaina. Yeah, why? I love it. All right, here he is. How much time was left? I'd rather not.
But all right. Can you hear me? Hello?
All right. Okay. All right. We'll move on. Okay. All right. Let's start this over.
Shall we? You got no camera.
It's all right. We'll just rock and roll the way we. It's okay. It was a good run. It was a good run. So let's start over with divisional powerhouse. West Pacific.
You know, it's no longer is this team. Team. Division is no longer considered the powerhouse. At least
Some would say he dropped. What? All right. Can you hear us?
Okay. Go ahead, Tino, run it.
All right. So we got a minute 30. We got to do this one quick, Notorious, because we've already wasted so much time. We're going to need time. So, all right. Divisional powerhouse. Like I said, West Pacific, you know, are they any more considered the dominant division? Who is at this point?
So you're saying they're not the joke?
Division. What is? Okay, so who is? Give me your weakest and strongest then. No, I mean like divisions. Give us your weakest and strongest divisions. Yeah. Yes. All right. All right. Fair enough. I would have to say we're the one we're in, but that's, you know, personal opinion. That's what we're here for. All right. Moving on.
So fill in the blank.
This is my favorite part about PTI, and well, now we're gonna need time. Fill in the blanks. I'm gonna give you a sentence, and you give me what word comes to mind. Manitoba must blank to fill the Dan USA void. to go in a different direction, and my word is going to be bold. I'm saying they must fire Sale.
And the reason why I say that, when you lose a player, any player, a $500K player that's your best player on the team,
a $10.5 million player that's the best on your team, you are losing a key component to your team. Was Dan doing the best? No, but he's still a good player. That's a void you just don't replace with your training camp. So now what Major's going to need to do, and that management on Manitoba, is pick the pieces carefully from their team
and utilize it, get some 2-for-1s done. They
have to bring in, they're not going to get another Dan USA. That's obvious. But they need to really fill that void, or it's not going to work. I really feel is almost close to a fire sale. They got to make. If they don't make 2 or 3 trades this weekend, forget it. Take on someone that isn't working and hope they work out for you. That's my take. All right, moving on. Community decides. This one has to do with this one I like. This comes from the staff as well. A question to reach out to the community is, should the community have a say on who is a bog? Who is a staff position? Now, obviously, we're not going to hold elections if Brody's going to remain in his position. Brody does a good job, I feel, and I'm sure most people do. I'm sure the 6,000 that play here, majority feels that way. But for the people that are taking AHL, CHL, NHL staff positions, do we feel this should be left up to a committee or the community? Like a committee of managers, a committee of players, whatever you feel it could be. In past seasons, this was about this one a lot, and in past seasons, name one manager, staff member has been removed for misconduct.
That's it.
I mean, is there anyone has staff ever made a bad? Sure, I've heard complaints about the CHL staff, and I've seen it. It's come and gone. Maybe something different needs to be done for that level of the competition. But as far as AHL and NHL, these guys are, again, just like managers, how we discussed on the beginning of the show. These guys are coming on and doing a thankless job, a job that doesn't even pay off.
You're doing a job to help the league. You're not even
doing it to benefit and be on a team and pick who you play with and build a team. You have to do site work, hard labor. Well, not hard. I guess not hard labor, but manual labor work that you're not getting paid for. Of course, yeah. That's another valid point as well. Moving on here. So we've got 2 more topics to go, I believe. This second to last one is ban buyouts. Should it be public information? Do we feel like that we should be made aware of what kind of money the site gets from ban buyouts, or do you feel like that should be private information still? Oh my. I'm glad we're not on the same page, because this is what makes the show interesting. And this is another one where I thought, yeah, and then I thought about it for a couple, for a day or so, and I'm like, no, this should not be public information. The reason why I say that is Tris is doing a job that, and I think we all can agree, he does a pretty good job. The site's functioning. Any other gaming website you go on, you get more than 100 people, it starts to crash and it freezes. It's terrible. Site has problems, but Tris fixes them. He's pretty promptly about that. And my feeling and my belief is anybody that does the job that Tris does is going to charge more than what he probably makes in those ban buyouts. 100%.
Do I feel?
And I know for a fact, based on the work I've done with the ESHL, I know that that ban buyout money is being put back into good resources for the website. It's not just Tris going to Thailand, like you said. It's more than just that. It's being utilized in good areas. And I think that if we have to question, then LG isn't the place for the community if they're so concerned. Public information. I'm wholeheartedly right. It is a company, though. It is listed as an actual business. But all right, moving on. Last subject here. We're gonna get this wrap this up here with a fill in the blank. We're gonna end it with a fill in the blank. One that everyone will. The code of conduct should be blank. What do you feel the code of conduct should be? Any definition? And I agree with you. And originally, another one, I thought about for a lot, and I was trying to feel, I feel like the more we grow as a community, better decisions have been made as far as that goes, as far as, strict, enforcements. And I agree. It should be stricter. You were 100% right with that. And the reason why is, and this kind of brings us back to the previous topics, second tagging. No time for it. It's cheating. Get them out of the league.
They shouldn't even the capital punishment. 100%. I like it. I feel like that's a hell of a lot better than just 2-season bans. That someone could buy out. That's again, buyouts shouldn't even be
as an option for those that absolutely cross the line. They should serve their punishment and serve the time. But more importantly here is the
sexual harassment part. That kind of stuff is actually, detrimental
to the website. Just like the Gren situation we mentioned before. LG has to wipe their hands and say, we've enforced it. We've done our due diligence. Agreed. And that's a good place. I agree with you. Enforce the cock, as everyone says. And that is where we're going to wrap this show up this week for We're Gonna Need Time. I hope everyone enjoys their week, and we will see you all around next time.